when I'm looking at the fights and looking on the tape, you see the punch, you see me going down on the ground, then the next thing you see that I'm jumping up like nothing happened. But deep inside, I mean, the movie that was playing in my head was totally different, because it was like a movie in slow motion, sitting on the floor and thinking. And I can clearly remember my thoughts, which I had sitting on the floor. And one of them was like, why should I stand up? I mean, I could easily stay down because I just got a pretty good reason for it. And no one's gonna blame me. I mean, I got knocked down. And then I didn't get the answer because I was already standing. And I won the fight. My name is Katalin Konya. I'm a 3-time WKU world champion. And this is my story. The success story is just really the outside. I mean, people only see when we go in the ring and perform. And of course, many people are coming or we can take videos or maybe interviews, or that's what people see. But it's like kind of like the top of the iceberg. That's what people can see. They don't see the bottom. They don't see the sweat, the pain, the disappointment, the happiness, the hours we spend in the gym. For me, mostly, it's feelings, emotions. They are my motivations. It's not gold medals. It's not a belt. These are material stuff. They don't give me a lot. I wouldn't get up from my sofa just because of those things. The reason why I get up is, to show to myself, yes, you can do it, and yes, you can. You came so far, and this development, this journey, this is the reason why I get off from my sofa. Since I was a kid, I actually realized that if I have something in my head, a picture, something I would like to have, a dream, and I keep it in my head and I think about it more and do something and steps, what can I do to get closer to that picture? And at some point it becomes actually my reality. I knew that since I was a little kid. When I heard about goal mapping, then I understood that thing. How and why does it work like that? If you keep something in your head, it becomes your reality at some point. I grew up in Hungary. I come from Hungary, and I moved to Denmark a few years ago. I grew up in a big family, which means that I have 5 big sisters and 4 big brothers. Starting training as a 6-year-old kid, I'm growing up in an environment where you can see, role models, where you can see people competing and dealing with high competition. It starts something in you. I was 7 when I had my first fight in a competition, and I won gold medal. I remember. I have that. It was the national championship in 2005 in my city. And then it was a big thing because winning that national championship would let me go to the world championship, which was again that year in my city. So it would be an awesome thing to do that, fighting world championship in your home, in front of your family and friends and with your club. And I was in the final and I lost the final. And I felt like, okay, I cannot do it. I was not good enough. You feel like, oh my God, everyone is looking at me and they think I'm a loser, and all these things, start just running and being disappointment. And my family was here and looking at me, and it's like, I cannot do it. You sit there, deciding like, okay, that's it. And then go to the gym and talk with your trainer like, I cannot do it. I need a break. When my hand was not in the air at the end of my fight, I felt empty. I felt so small that I just didn't want to be there. I didn't feel that I have the right to stand there. For a while, I couldn't figure out who I was because sport and kickboxing was such a huge part of me that suddenly, it disappeared. So totally lost and empty, confused about future. What's gonna happen? Am I gonna be good enough to do whatever I want to do? So a lot of questions and confusion and emptiness. It took me about 8 years to get back and trust in myself enough to say, okay, I'm ready to start again and fight in kickboxing. Goal mapping and the whole goal setting, it turned the whole thing around. And failure became something else. It became a part of my journey, a part what I accept, a part where I say, okay, this is there for a reason. Let's see what I can learn from it. In 2013, the first time when we went for the World Championship, mentally, I was so ready. It's hard to explain, but you just know it. You know that this is the moment you have been waiting for years, and the power you have with that moment, it's unbeatable. At the moment when the judges stopped the fight at the final, it was just so many things happening in my head, all over my body, my heart. I remember the first thing I think did was yelling, like not screaming, but yelling, and all this pain and disappointment and fear and questioning and everything that was gathered through the years, it came up, and then I turned to my trainer was already in the ring, actually. He was just running towards me, and the only thing I could do is just jump in his neck. And then I remember he just told me, like, we did it. And I felt like I'm back again. Fighting and training and doing kickboxing, it's not just in the ring. People think like, okay, you do the fights in the ring, but it's not true, because you take those things outside. And not just me, just because someone is not training kickboxing or fighting in the ring, it doesn't mean they don't do it outside of the ring. People do that every single day. We fight for our job, for our family, for everything. I experienced many times in fighting that it's, I would say, 20% physical and 80% mental. I work as a career consultant where we have to help people to get over their barriers, to fight with their own fears and challenges. And I use a lot of my own experiences, skills, approaches, becoming goal-oriented, knowing that, if you want to go get somewhere, you have to set a goal. You cannot just, I will think about it and I will see what's gonna happen. You have to say, okay, this is what I'm going after, because then you have to figure out how to train. I wish I could tell people that I have this recipe and they can just use it and it works every time, and many people does that. I mean, I've heard it many times. Of course, they can try someone else's. I always, when I'm sharing my experiences, actually I'm sharing my recipes with people. But I'm telling them, take my recipe, make the cake, taste it. If you like it, eat it. If you don't like it, then change the ingredients and do it again and again until you get the results you want to have. What I like to tell people, especially at the end of my workshop, is like, we have only one life. And we are the ones who are creating it by our decision, making the steps, creating decisions, setting goals. We are creating it. And failure, winning, disappointment, these are all a part of this whole journey. I set goals in so many different areas in my life. My main thing or goal, dream, I would say, is to inspire people. My goal in sport is definitely to become better. Winning world championship is always on the plate. That's something that will never be done.